Hello, MangaPod viewers, again.
What do you mean again? This is the first time we've done
I already messed up.
To our seamless production.
Yeah, it's just going so well so far.
Oh.
But anyway, welcome to MangaPod, which is a weekly podcast in which me and my three lovely co-hosts all read a manga or part of a manga and then get together to discuss it. We have Dodger over here in the corner.
Hi.
Hi.
Currently in Erin's house.
I love your background.
Eating
food.
Thank you.
I can eat the same exact kind of food.
Oh my gosh. We have matching food. We're meant to be.
Obviously.
all the food.
And then we also have Yokorama. How are you, sir?
Hi, I'm good. I'm just drinking some tea and enjoying myself over here in the corner.
Yay! That's great to hear. And we also have Dr. Daza in the other bottom corner. How are you, sir?
I'm good.
You're not a real doctor.
Hey, I've got a PhD in Japanese pop culture.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Where are your credentials?
Yeah.
Yo,
You need my
Yokorama.
They're on Mal. Let's go check on there.
So, yes.
Go to my anime list.
Yes.
This week we read the first 4 volumes of Old Boy.
Yes.
This is chapter 1 through 39. Yes,
Mhm.
guys?
Yes.
Yes.
So we read a decent amount. Half of it.
Half
in
of
fact.
it.
So,
Yes.
proud
And
of us.
I'm really proud of us, too, even though some of us might have just finished reading like 15 minutes before we hyped on Skype.
Actually, yeah. I'm not saying who.
I'm not
Yeah.
saying who.
No.
Everyone.
No fingers being pointed. No, you did it on purpose so that it would all be fresh in your
Yeah,
mind.
it's fresh. It's really fresh.
Obviously.
Super fresh.
Of course.
I mean,
Fresh.
this isn't school, guys. We're not putting off homework.
Obviously. Oh.
Hey, I've got the excuse that my internet was bad, so I couldn't get it.
Oh. But your
True.
internet's all better now, so you're the only one with a legit excuse.
I have a
procrastinated.
good excuse. I was playing League of Legends.
Nah.
That takes a lot of time.
I guess.
I'm not sure.
Pretty legit for me.
For those of you who have not read the first 4 volumes of Old Boy, we are going to be discussing it in depth, so there is going to be lots of spoilers. Spoilers. So please be wary of that. However, if you have not read it but are interested in maybe reading it, we have a description that is spoiler-free for you before you head on out and don't want to be spoiled. Spoiled? That's a word.
Yeah, it's forward
That's a
now.
word.
It's
Yeah,
good.
but after you read it, you can come back to Erin's YouTube channel and you can
Yes.
rewatch this.
Yeah,
Yes.
the last
Watch
one
this
is
amazing
super
show.
fast. So
Yeah,
you will get it
You'll get it
immediately.
quick. The Twitch to YouTube upload is redonky fast. I was impressed. It was
It
crazy.
has never been fast for me.
Really? It was
Yeah,
fast.
I just
I was
stopped trying
happy.
to use it. Maybe they fixed it. Maybe that's... maybe
That's
it's
what
better now.
happened.
I bet David did some magic with the
Magic
Twitch
fingers.
gods.
It's like,
Like-
Twitch, listen.
I've got the owner of Twitch on the phone right now.
Ah.
We're gonna get this uploaded right now.
Immediately. All the CEOs are just sitting there working on getting MangaPod uploaded to HappiLeeErin.
I wanted ASAP.
The only non-gaming thing on Twitch ever has to go up.
It's fine.
Anyway, for your spoiler-free summary, Dr. Daza, would you like to read it for us, good sir?
I
Yes,
may.
you would.
10 years ago, they took him in. He doesn't even know who. And for 10 years, he's been confined in a private prison. He doesn't know why. For 10 years, his only contact with the outside world has been a television set and the voices of his jail mates. In time, he lost himself. He changed, transformed himself into something else, something hard, something lethal. Suddenly, one day, his incarnate, no, that's not the right word, his imprisoned ends. Again, no explanation. He is sedated, stuffed inside a truck, and dumped in a park. When he awakes, he is free to reclaim what is left of his life. And what's left is revenge.
Oh!
Revenge.
Revenge. Revenge. That was beautiful.
It was good. Well done.
Clap, 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 clap. That was awesome.
There was your Daza description.
Your doctor does it.
My job is done.
And he's gone. He just ends the Skype call. Awesome. There you go. So there is as spoiler-free as this podcast is about to get. So if you do not want to be spoiled, please go ahead and show your... I don't want to say show yourselves out because that sounds really mean.
Get out of here.
But if
We don't want you here
you
anymore.
could just take yourselves and leave.
Press that red X button on the top of your window.
Unless you
Awesome.
don't care to get spoiled.
Yeah, unless you don't care.
If you like getting spoiled,
Yes.
that's a word.
I'm so happy we're using that word.
There were a lot of people.
Then it's fine. Then
Yeah,
it's fine.
there were a lot of people who watched the last one that had never read Attack on Titan, and afterward were like, "I'm gonna go read this." All those spoilers got me excited about reading this.
They
so
still really
maybe
enjoyed
that
it.
type of person. If you are, stick around. We
Yes.
love you.
Yeah, we love you.
God, get out of here.
Love,
Leave.
love, docky.
Oh.
Oh. Okay, I feel like we should dive into some discussion since we've been running late and now it's just been awesome sauce so far.
I'm so sorry.
No, it's all of our fault.
That was all my bad.
No, but then the food came and it was just we were all sorts of distracted. Also, I apologize for any sort of laggy. It should be fine. I feel like we've got the Skype call, the stream going, and we also have Dodger on the Skype call as well. So we have shared internet right now, so hopefully it's not too laggy. I think it'll be fine. I think it'll be okay. Yeah. Okay.
Don't like her at all, so.
Perfect.
Yeah, so far, nobody's
Awesome.
webcam has pros. So.
Yeah, so far we don't have any funny faces posed or anything like that. So it's
Somehow.
all good. All right, guys. What were your expectations before you started reading the manga? Dodger?
Like, no.
Someone
Who
gonna
would like
talk?
to go first?
Who starts this?
Okay, fine,
Anybody?
whatever.
I have a question. I can't
Well,
go.
old boy. I was like, okay, this seems interesting. It seems like a thriller type of not Tom Hanks, because he doesn't make that great of movies. Nick Cage. Maybe like a thriller Nick Cage film.
Wait. Did you just say Tom Hanks doesn't make good movies and who you're
So
really
Tom Hanks
thinking
never
of
makes
was
movies, but
Nicolas
Nick Cage does.
Nick Cage is amazing. Have you been to that one true Nick Cage God subreddit? It's just so good. Yeah. It's like a subreddit. Oh,
This is such a controversial topic right now. Nick
Anyway.
Cage makes good movies.
Anyway, okay. You
Anyway,
got
What is good
some-
at Tom Cruise?
Anyway, I thought it would be like a thriller type of thing. Maybe in the type of Tom Hanks, Angels and Demons. I don't know, just without the Christian imagery. And I was like, I'm excited. I'm excited for this. And I didn't really know what to expect besides it being like a thriller because I hadn't heard much from Old Boy, nor had I seen a Korean film of the same name, nor have I heard much of the remake of the Korean film of the adaptation of the manga that's coming out in like 10 years.
Oh.
So,
Oh.
yeah, I didn't know what to expect, but it was good. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Go for it.
Awesome.
That was good.
I'm done. I was just talking because no one else was. It was all awkward.
No.
Well, for me, I have not seen the Korean movie either, but I have heard from a few people that it was amazing and super awesome. And all I had actually seen from the movie was the one super long one-shot elevator, I think it was, fight scene. I think it was an elevator, but there's just a super long one-take fight scene that makes him look super badass. I was like, oh, I want to read this manga. And so I'd heard only good things about it, and so I was really, really excited to start it. Like, I knew basic concept from like the summary and stuff like that. So I was really excited to start it. Basically, that's what I have to say. I'll get into more about what I was thinking as I was reading it as we continue. But, but what about you guys, Dodger Yokorama?
Dodger, go ahead and you go first.
I was hoping you would stare me down for longer. Okay. This was another one just like Attack on Titan where I was like, I don't think this is going to be my bag at all. I'm not convinced that I'm going to like this because I had never heard of it before we decided to read it. And then, like you guys had said, oh, everybody says, it's really good. And that's really all I had heard. And then I was talking to a friend who had watched the Korean movie. I have not watched the Korean movie either. I was talking to a friend who had watched the Korean movie, and he was like, I hate that movie. I hate that movie. It is the worst movie. And I was like, oh. That is the first time I've heard that. Everybody says it's good. And he's like, it's not. It's not a good movie. I was like, oh, okay. So then I was like, what if I hate this manga? Like, I was ready to be ambivalent about it. But I wasn't thinking I was gonna, like, hate it. Yeah. And then, when I started it, I was surprised that I was hooked, like, immediately. And, I don't know, it totally betrayed my expectations, for sure. Just like Attack on Titan did. And it wound up being about something totally different than I had conceived. So my initial thoughts are literally exactly the same as my initial thoughts last time.
Oh, nice! You've got a theme going.
Yep. Maybe it'll be every time.
Maybe.
Yeah, I'm the only person here that actually seen the Korean movie, but I've seen it like 5 years ago. It's been a while since I watched it, but I remember liking it. I don't remember all the details, but I remember liking it, and I remember the ending, which is freaking weird as hell. Like, it doesn't get any weirder than that. That's why I understand when somebody's like, "Oh, I hate this movie."
Really?
That ending is just one of the weirdest endings that you love to see.
Can't wait.
No, but what I hear is that the manga is gonna have a different ending.
Oh,
so
really?
that's something I'm looking forward to. And now I'm reading the manga for the first time, and it's so different. Really, the only thing that is the same to the movie, like that they adapted, was the whole concept that he has been locked up for 10 years and then he wants revenge, and the only same thing really is the actual prison. But everything else that we've read, pretty much everything, there's been some little things here and there that's been in the movie, it's completely different.
Oh,
it's completely
oh, cool.
even his character feels like a little bit different from
Really?
what I remember. So really it's like a completely different experience, and I hear the ending is also different. So I don't know, it's kind of like it feels like it's like a parallel timeline or something.
I like the manga. It was good.
But my thoughts on the manga, like I go in there expecting this is gonna be amazing, like the movie, and like it's not really. I can't say it's amazing, the manga, but it is good. It is good, but it did have a pretty slow start. I think Erin, she also kind of felt slow with the start.
Yeah. Oh, I did.
Yeah, like the first 10-ish.
Yeah, I was instantly hooked when I first read it. I was like reading the first few chapters, and I'm just like, this is so good.
Yeah, I have no idea why.
I had to stop.
Well, it was really quick to get through those beginning parts, because it had a lot of just parts where the panels where they weren't talking. It was just like he's just standing, because he does. The main character, he doesn't talk much. He just stands around.
He just pokes his face.
There's so many dramatic.
Lots of really dramatic smoking.
Yes, and lots of lines.
So many. It's good. It's definitely good, but so far, from what I remember of the movie, I prefer the start of the movie to the start of the manga. But after you get past 10, maybe 12 chapters, then it becomes pretty damn. Becomes pretty damn up.
Yes, I agree.
Especially the end of the 4th volume, that was pretty awesome as well.
Oh God! Everything
has
changed so much.
Fast and
I did not. Okay, it has completely changed from when I first started reading it. It has not gone where I thought it was going to go. It's just changed things that I didn't really see coming. So I like that. It took me about
Can I just ask you guys a question?
Yes.
Yes.
Do you reckon the antagonist has the exact same nose as the protagonist?
Yes.
They both have the
And do you think they're brothers?
I was wondering. Oh, you go on. Sorry.
Yeah, I was like, I think they're brothers. They look like brothers. And then
I wondered if they were related at first. Yeah.
And then it's like, I got plastic surgery, and it's just like.
I think the plastic surgery thing, though, they were talking about how he went to school with Goto, and he was a person who loved him or admired him or ended up hating him. I don't know why I keep using these.
Because we don't
he got plastic surgery.
He loved him.
They're on a boat.
And so, it could be an admiration or some sort of a thing where he got the nose to match Goto's. Could be something like that. It'd be weird. What?
I mean, he's been established as kind of a psychopath.
Yeah.
himself as kind of a psychopath. So
A little bit.
He's obsessed with Goto. That's what we got. That's what we got.
Yeah.
And it's not, and like he kind of like said that it's not love because Goto did ask him on the boat, like, "Are you gay?" He's like, "No, it's not like that."
He's like, that's not what it's about.
it's more like an obsession.
Yeah,
It reminds me of not the Count of Monte Cristo book, but the Count of Monte Cristo movie. That whole scene where like I can't remember their names, dang it. But the best friends, there's the rich one and the poor one, and the poor one has everything and he's really happy, and the rich one has nothing but lots of money. And the rich one is like obsessed with him and just hates him, but also feels that he's his best friend, but hates him because he's so happy when he has nothing.
Yeah.
And like that obsession like just becomes cyclical, and I keep wondering if it's going to be that sort of a thing.
That'd be interesting. An interesting exploration. Yeah. When
it might, like, there are other correlations that way too. That's why I was wondering if it's actually like a retelling of that story, because in Count of Monte Cristo he's locked up for years and then free.
That's a good comparison.
For revenge.
I haven't seen
that's a really good. You're so smart.
Connecting the dots.
Media.
It's such a good. I never even thought about making that comparison, but that's a really good like connection.
The connection might be there. It might be coincidence. I don't know. But I was like, God, this reminds me so much of the so.
Yokorama, I keep thinking you freeze because you
I need to move around more. I need to be like, yeah.
I was like, oh no, Yokorama, oh no.
I just don't like. Okay, I'll just move around my chair.
No, you're okay.
Doing good.
Just be you. Just be you.
Yeah, I was just really listening to what she was saying.
It was good. It was good. I loved the scene when the antagonist sat down at the bar next to Goto. That was the first scene where I actually was like, oh, snaps.
Like a lot of tension?
Yeah, that was the first one where I actually felt like super, super excited about the manga, I think. So I loved that scene. There was just so much tension. And I love, this also brings me to like, I love how good the mangaka is with using panels and lack of dialogue. Like he's so good at expressing emotion through his art without using like dialogue. It's really impressive to me, and I really like that. I really enjoyed the art of this series.
Yeah, he's really good with face impressions, like the
really
way
good with face.
and like shadowing. The shadowing that he does is really nice.
I agree with that. I never confuse. And sometimes with some mangaka, like you get faces confused. You'll look at two different characters and be like, God, you're so similar. I can't tell who it is.
Yeah.
Never felt that way in this at all.
Which was awesome. Except for the noses.
It's like
whose nose?
Going
Whose
on.
nose is it? What did you?
The nose is like half his face.
I know, it's so good. I love it.
Like nowadays, it's like where all the eyes are big, but in the 90s, it must have been noses that were big. I don't know. Maybe that's a thing back then.
And shoulders.
Oh,
Don't forget those shoulders that came out to here.
Oh yes, the
And
shoulders and
the like triangle bodies. The giant hands.
Yeah, but that's crazy how he got so fit from like doing push-ups and like sit-ups and
Yeah.
stuff.
I was like, dang. He was
That's
locked
it.
in
That's all you
himself.
need.
I know.
Sit-ups.
was
I
like,
did
wow.
love the element to it though, like kind of later on, I think in volume 4 when he's talking about how he, like that darkness within him turned him into an alcoholic and like a gambler, and he felt like really trapped. And then when he was locked up, he had to kind of face that and become a better person, even though he was
Love
like
that.
captivity. I thought that was really interesting.
Yeah, I loved that that part of it too. I thought that was really interesting because it was like he gets trapped and he actually has to do something about it. Like he doesn't have access to those things he was addicted to, so he has to like mentally like make the choice to change those things. And I really like that. It was like,
something else.
huh?
Or he got addicted to something else.
Or I guess he got addicted to TV. That's true. True moral of Old Boy is that TV solves everything. Basically.
Yeah, TV kept him sane. He said if it wasn't for the TV, he would have went insane.
I
That
know.
kept his sanity.
But I
Why did they
also,
give him a TV?
I know, I was like, well, that's nice of them.
It was pretty crazy. Like I don't know if you guys caught this, but like earlier, I don't remember what part, but he's pretty much saying that for the first couple of weeks when he was locked up, he thought that he went insane.
Yeah.
That he like himself, because he was kind of going crazy with all these addictions. Like he thought that he like locked himself up in the room until he finally started seeing that people were being like switched off in other rooms. That was pretty cool as well. There's a lot of like psychological stuff.
Oh
Yeah.
What I also liked about the TV was the fact that this was like a passing frame, but he said something along the lines of the TV may have been monitored. So it was everything that was shown on the TV that was like all made to show to him and stuff. I thought that was interesting as well.
Oh, I missed that.
I missed that part. Yeah.
That was like half a frame, but I was like, that's pretty cool. I like that.
Jessica committed that to memory.
The rest of the manga is crap, but I like that half a frame.
That
One panel.
What did this kind of changed like the subject a little bit, but what did you guys think about the relationship between Goto and Eri? Eri, how do you pronounce her name? Eri? The main girl, the first girl
The young girl.
The ingenue,
the virgin that is no longer a virgin.
By the end,
It's like, you can't be.
It's just like, whoa.
I have to take it to like a more cultural sense, because at first I was like, that's such a weird detail to put in there. But I know that, like, especially when establishing like an ingenue innocent character, like that's kind of a necessity in Japanese culture. So I was like, I get it, and I get that like it would be this weird, interesting, romanticized thing for her to be like, I'm so glad I gave myself to you, and he's like this dark person who's trying to change and like get revenge and all this other stuff. But I was like,
yeah, I think we had the same.
I love her though.
I love her
too. But how big of a coincidence though that was? Like
it's very much just like, oh, the first night I come out of jail and I get some.
Right.
It's just like, that doesn't happen in real life. That scene stays.
I trusted her a little bit, because I've been waiting for her to be like, oh, by the way, I'm working for the bad guy.
I want that to happen. Yes.
I've had that feeling like the whole every time I see her, like she's working for them, and that still possibly might happen. Like I still don't completely trust her all the way. I still feel like there's something going on. At least they're telling her like to do something, because
something's happening. Something else is happening.
Maybe she's working for them, but at the same time, she's actually falling in love with him. That's why she took him to the boat. Remember? Because like she knew that he's getting monitored. Her room is tapped, so he took her to the boat. So I don't know. So she's probably like going to his side.
Yeah.
So.
No.
She's turning from bad to good.
I did feel bad.
Good.
What?
I did feel kind of bad when he was just like, oh, I'm going to do this other girl to get information out of her. I'm just like, oh,
I
got that first.
I was so
The
sad.
face of that chick, though.
Oh, Doctor and I were talking about this.
That chick
With like drool
and
coming out.
that frame so many times. It's always the most hilarious face. I was
I
like,
thought her face was melting. Like
I did too. It was so. That whole scene was like, his face was so stoic during the whole thing
like,
too. He wasn't even sweating. He sweats all
He's
the
just
time.
like, oh yeah, I gotta do this, yeah.
He sweats all the time during the manga, and he's like in the middle of like coitus, and he's just like, nope, it's no
to
biggie.
be found. He's just like, whatever.
Whatever. I didn't. Yeah, that part was weird. And the up the skirt shots with like shadows covering all the vaginas. It was really.
No, what I loved was the shots like full on of her booty, but like the rest of her was like kind of whited out. Like there's no vagina there. It's just butt. It's just, don't worry about it. And I was like, what am I looking at? It was so weird.
It was so weird.
and then you see her face.
Yeah, and then she's like.
That's
Remember your childhood.
We should all make that face, and that'll just be the thumbnail for the VOD. You ready?
There'll be someone gifting
Two, 3, go! Yokorama!
What?
You messed it up, Yokorama.
Oh yeah, we might preface it. This is a seinen manga, so there's a lot of.
Oh,
Yeah.
don't read this at work.
Just bringing this up. It's a seinen manga, guys.
Don't read it on the subway.
Dazza.
Stop about that.
Dazza, why don't you tell your story?
It's just on the train, and I was just reading it. I was like, all right, I need to read this. I'll read it on the train. There's an old guy reading along with me for some strange reason. and then Goto has sex for the first time, and because it's not, like, luckily it's not like the hentai sex where it's just like really weird and people everywhere. It was quite realistic. Tried it. And he just looks at me.
It's people everywhere.
And I was like, I don't know. This was where I was supposed to go.
I'm gonna just.
I'm shit pants. Oh, whatever.
Okay, what's the next question on the list?
Why, Yokorama? Is this uncomfortable?
This has been going on for a while. We went a little enough depth on.
Okay.
Can we ask the question, how about them ladies? Am I right? Them ladies are sexy, yo. Booty, booty, booty.
Yeah, we were addressing a question that I wrote. Come on.
For everybody watching, we have a Google Doc going of all the questions so that we can reference them in case conversation gets stale. And before we went live, everyone was editing it, and now it's just awesome.
Yeah, some good questions.
Go ahead and ask another one, Aaron.
Well.
For some reason, I just got uns from Red Bone stuck in my head. Do you imagine?
Okay,
No.
this actually brought up, okay, this made me think of something. Did anyone else, Yokorama, you might be the only one that agrees with me since the other two thought, we're instantly hooked. But for some reason, there were so many moments, I think one of the things that turned me off from the manga when I was first reading it is it was so dramatic in so many parts and like so many ways that I just kept hearing like dun 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 every single time. And it was like just, I don't know if that was my own head, obviously, but I was just like dun 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 every single time something happened.
Yeah, I know what you mean. They had a lot of those moments. Like he used a lot of like shadowing and stuff, and especially when they showed like the main villain a couple of times, like for the first time.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Every time he was like shadowed from like the top. You can see like his bald head, and he's just like, you know, like okay,
dun, dun, dun.
cool.
Okay, I'm glad I'm not the only one who felt that.
Yeah, but
it continues throughout the whole time though. It doesn't really stop.
I think after I got more invested in the story and like actually felt something about for Goto, I think it like stopped bothering me as much.
Yeah, you get used to it, I guess.
Yeah, you get used to the dun 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 noise.
You went back and reread it, right?
Yeah, I got to chapter 12, and then I started to really like it, and I was like, I feel like I need to go reread it, because maybe I was in, like, the wrong headspace, or I don't know if I just, like, didn't appreciate it as much, so I reread it, and I liked it more the second time I read it, but I still, like, wasn't hooked until I got to, like, chapter 13. And I think one of the reasons is Goto's character. He's so cool, and he's so calm, and he always talks about how he like makes this conscious effort to be that way, and there's a few panels where like they bring that up in there. I think like that just rubbed me the wrong way, and that he was so cool and so calm that it felt like he didn't have any personality. And for me to like be invested in a storyline and care about it, I need to be invested in the characters that the storyline is about. Like that's for a lot of people, like that's not the case, but like for me personally, I was like, I don't like, you're cool, bro, and I'm sorry this stuff happened, but I don't care about you. And so it was just like, I just didn't feel that connection until the scene where he went back to the 7.5 floor. And it was when he had the gun pointed at the guy's face, and then he like made the decision, like he looked at the gun and he was like, this isn't what I want to be, and he like tossed the gun away. That was the first time where I actually felt some kind of emotion from him, or I felt something for him. And so that's when it started to get good for me. That's when I started to be like, okay, I'm going to go back and reread this, and I'm starting to like this. So
yeah,
he did. And then like later on, like he had quite a bit of development, like especially with the whole school stuff, you know, going back, and then after talking with Eri and pretty much explaining like what he was when he was younger before he got locked up, and like what he is now, and yeah, it's kind of cool. Like you get like really attached to this character pretty fast, like especially, you know, after like that 7.5 floor scene.
Yeah, it was like 13 chapters of me not caring about him, and then half a page later I was like, I care about you so much. I hope
it's weird. I feel like I still don't really care or connect with any of the characters, and I think that maybe that's why I've liked it since the beginning, is because it's been all about the intrigue for me. It's like, why were you locked up in there? And so I hang on all of the plot points, but I'm not necessarily like attached to anybody specifically. I find characters interesting, but I'm more interested in like the whys, all of the different questions that have come up.
Yeah.
That's probably the same with me because I'm more intrigued by the plot and the way the plot's progressing, which I'm really happy that the plot progresses quite well in this as well.
Yeah, pretty quickly.
Yeah, the pacing is really well done.
Yeah.
Whereas the characters themselves are a bit like Goto. I understand. Apparently, he's supposed to have some sort of amnesia thing as well, which I don't really understand why that much. You'd think if he was for 10 years, he would be remembering all his past memories.
That's what I've thought too. I don't know.
But I apparently he forgot his own name, which apparently was a thing.
But who knows what like being locked up in a room with the television for 10 years will do to you, really. So who knows?
Well, all we have to do is get like two people, and test it and see what happens. And in about 10 years, we can ask them.
Who would like to volunteer? Anybody?
Daza?
Hashtag MangaPod if you would like to volunteer to be locked up for 10 years.
Yeah, I forgot about him forgetting his name, because at first I was going to say, I think they've been referring to him forgetting things because he can't remember somebody who's hated him. He can't remember anybody who would do this to him, but then I was like, you're right. He like forgot big details about his life because he's solitary for so long.
I don't think he forgot his name, really.
You don't think so?
It wasn't.
Remember,
really
he said he kind of like threw away his past life, like his past name and everything. I don't think he forgot it.
Yeah, but in the translation I was reading, it says, I remember my name now. This is my name. Whereas that's what I was thinking as well. He just threw away and doesn't care anymore.
I think he accepted his past. Like he accepted his past. Like,
you think it's a translation problem?
Yeah, I don't think he actually like. What's my name? I think it had more of like, I guess, a meaning to it.
Okay, so Yokorama, you're saying that you think he purposely forgot it so that he could forget about his past once he got out?
Yeah, I don't think he like really forgot. He kind of like shut it out.
Started it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like, that's my past. I don't care about it. I'm out. I'm free. He's like freedom. Like many times he said that in the 4 volumes that we read. And he even got himself that new name.
Yeah.
So I don't think he just forgot it.
Right. And then it was the moment when he was like with Eri and like going through everything and all the emotions that he was like, I can accept who I was.
Yeah. He has memories. Like he forgot the whole school and the faces of the people that he went to school with because that was like 18 years ago.
Yeah, I don't remember most of the people I went to.
I remember like 2 faces from.
If you're watching, I'm sorry, I don't care about you.
I've forgotten all about you.
If you're watching, I remember you.
Yeah, actually, he has pretty decent memory. He's like, when he saw the face of the villain, he's like, I don't remember your face, because like he would know. I don't remember your voice either, So really, I think he remembers everything. He just doesn't remember the small details that even if I ask you, you probably wouldn't remember, And being locked up for 10 years, sitting wondering why you're locked up why am I locked up? And not knowing, like he said, the biggest fear or like the biggest thing that really got him was that he didn't know when he's gonna be set free. So he's just sitting there like, okay, I'm locked up. I don't know why. I don't know how long I'm gonna be here for. There's a TV, cool, and that's about it. So really, like, who knows what kind of like mental illness he got from that? I think he's normal after this.
Yeah.
I really liked.
Yeah, that's how it is.
Yeah, I really liked the part when he first got locked up where he says that my enemy probably wants me to go crazy. Like, my enemy wants me to go crazy.
To break his spirit.
Yeah, and so he, like, makes the conscious effort to, like... I thought that was really admirable and really inspirational that he was just like, okay, I'm going to do my best not to let that happen. He was just
it was like his motivation not to go crazy.
Yeah.
I'm gonna make this guy, and help him come on top, I'm gonna survive this. And he did. He seems a little bit normal.
I really thought, this is kind of off topic, I really thought the idea of, and I want to know if these exist, the idea of like a mob group creating a jail that people can opt to be in for like an exorbitant amount of money was really interesting. Like,
I thought so too.
Probably, like I wouldn't.
I would say in the Eastern European and the East Asian groups, I think it might a little bit. Maybe.
You think it might exist?
Yeah, well, it doesn't seem too far-fetched.
It doesn't seem far-fetched.
It's not like a hard concept.
just being like, look.
Pay me money, I locked you up.
we'll lock you up until your investigation's over, and you can be.
Yeah, remember that guy? He's like reaching out. I'll give you money. Give me a masseuse. Yo, I want a massage.
I want a masseuse. I paid to be in here. You're like, oh.
Here's more money. The guy's like, no, man.
At least get a haircut, girl.
I know. I like that they brought in a haircut and stuff
every
like
month.
that.
Every
month. Yeah, it was crazy. One thing. This is really random. But when he met the girl that's going to take him to the mob boss, and like then they went to the junkyard or whatever, and the mob boss was there, when I don't know if we talked about this already, I can't remember, I have really short-term memory loss, but just trying to remember, but like you think after all the time when he got drugged, that he would be careful, and he got drugged again, and then he got tape put on his eyelashes, which really hurts to pull off, and so it was just like, Goto, stop drinking things. Just stop.
I don't think he really cared. He just wanted to go.
I know.
He's just like, I've been drugged enough. I know how it feels. It's like,
I understand this feeling by now, but he still looked a little surprised. Like he had a wobbling.
I'm not dead yet.
I was like, are you really
I think anybody was
surprised?
surprised when you drink a drink and then you just like,
But
I don't understand. So apparently there were muscle relaxers in that drink. But then she was able to like
carry him
his weight and walk with him. I was like, no.
maybe it was a different type of like half muscle relax.
Half muscle relax.
He stood up later and drank the rest of his drink and couldn't get off the floor. I was like, unrealistic.
I didn't. That was one part where I was like, she could not hold him up.
She's like ripped out of her mind, and we just don't know.
He's totally ripped, bro.
He's heavy.
He lifts.
He's huge. He works out all the time. And like the first time he had sex, like his muscles were like all sorts of detailed, so we know he's got them. Obviously.
The thing is, we actually do see all that.
It's so funny. I don't know how descriptive we're gonna go with this, but the one like full frame, like full panel of like them doing the thing, and he's like back like this, and his arm is just ripped. I was like, jeez. It's like that's an intense O
Well,
face.
he has to at least have one arm ripped, of course.
At least one.
One.
Oh.
If you've seen the movie, that joke would be a lot more funnier than you.
Really?
Oh no, it was. He used the TV and like it was like news going on.
What?
He's just fapping. He's fapping all day.
To like news ladies.
Oh.
You need to watch the movie. The movie is.
Really watch the movie.
You guys really need to see this movie.
It's on Netflix. It's a lot different.
Yes, I'll just turn on my Netflix machine and just watch it.
Yeah, you can fly over here and Netflix works.
Your Netflix machine.
Netflix.
I always feel so bad when I suggest Netflix to people, and they're like, I don't live in North America.
I feel so bad.
Care.
I feel so bad with Crunchyroll stuff because I'm like, I don't know how to access stuff in other countries because I've never been there. I'm so sorry. I do what I can.
It was interesting when I was real brief, and then we can get back to it.
Yeah.
In France, I was able to watch Gintama on Crunchyroll, but I couldn't watch anything else.
They really wanted that Gintama.
All they like over in France is Gintama. The only thing.
France is really into that show.
Gintama's pretty awesome.
They love their Gintama. Awesome.
Anyway, back on topic.
Back to Old Boy.
Old
Boy. We kind of touched on the antagonist. How do you guys feel about him now at the end of Volume 4? Like, do you feel threatened by him? Do you think he's the weak antagonist, or are you excited to see like how the story plays out? And like, what do you think he hates Goto about?
He just gives the information. He's right there. It's like on a boat, and he's just like, okay, to win this game, you got to work out who I am. But why can't he just ask you?
Why don't he loses? He loses. If he asks all the questions, he loses.
Obviously.
Somebody in the comments wrote Goto was cooler than him in school.
That might be.
It's true. It might be that simple.
I don't know. I think I found him more, and this might be intentional. I found him creepier before we knew anything about him, and before we had like interacted with him more. And at the point that we're at now, when they're like pretending to be friends and like hanging out and chit-chatting, I'm like, you're not as... I think you're bored.
Yeah.
Like,
Dude, he even offered him a well-paying job.
Yeah.
so
And to, like, give him support in his career. I was like, I don't understand.
Think about it like this. Everything that Goto knows now has been told to him.
Mm-hmm.
So he's got to have told him all this information. And he's just, oh, you can't ask any questions, or the game ends. It's just like, but you give him all the information.
You already told him all these things.
Obviously, you changed your face.
I know. He's got to have something happening to him.
Yeah.
So, like, I agree. I thought he was so much more threatening at the beginning.
Yeah.
And I don't know, this was weird to me. At the beginning, he seemed like he was so much more afraid of Goto. Like, every single time he got brought up, he looked like he genuinely feared him. But now he's, like, so calm and confident and cool when he's in his presence. And I'm just like, I don't know. That felt weird to me. But now as I'm talking, it's interesting because Goto is kind of the one that's afraid of him because he doesn't have all the information, whereas he's the cool one, whereas before Goto was the cool one. So now it's like interesting if they're switching and that like swapping. Maybe he's...
I don't know. I think that guy was kind of an idiot for showing himself to Goto, because that's taking a big risk.
Yeah.
Like, you locked up this guy for 10 years. Like, and he's probably insane. There's possibility that he's insane. So he might just like totally just like rip your heart out or something and eat it in front of you. Like I don't know.
Because of that whole situation where he called up Goto and was like, yo, let's look at each other on the bridge, but we won't talk. And I was like, oh, that's an interesting concept. Like, seeing each other on the bridge and then making a pledge that you would both just walk away and not talk. And then it turned out that it was Eri, and I was like, okay, he's playing this a little bit smart. He's playing mind games. And then he just showed up at the bar anyway, and I was like,
yeah, they just sit together drinking.
He's so desperate to, like, have that interaction with him. I don't know.
Yeah.
That's why
He's probably invited him on a
I think the obsessiveness thing is more...
Yeah.
I think it's an obsessiveness thing.
Yeah. He's just like, oh, I want you to know, I want you to see me and talk to me, and you're just like, oh.
I want you to not know who I am.
I know, somebody wrote that it was a risk, but he knew Goto's curiosity would win over the revenge. But I don't know, like, because you locked up this guy for 10 years and he doesn't know why. Like me personally, I don't think I would just be like, okay, shake hands, we're friends.
Too calm about it.
We're fake friends.
When they were on the boat, he held out the gun and it was like, I know you can't actually kill somebody. And so, like, maybe he knows, but it's like, how does he know that? Like, there wasn't really any, like, him observing Goto where he was like...
There's a big difference between killing just a henchman at some random place who's just been working there, and the guy who locked you up for 10 years with no information.
Yeah.
I don't...
But at the same time, if he killed him, he wouldn't know the answers, and the answers are the important part for him.
Yeah.
It's all about the answers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So...
I don't know. So far, I think the main villain he's kind of a fool. That's what he is.
Fools.
Quite the dummy.
Quite the doo-doo head.
Oh.
What is that from? Soul Eater? Is that from
Yeah.
Excalibur.
Yeah. Excalibur. I love that episode so much. So
I
many.
would watch that in Japanese and it'd be Baka. And it'd be
It was so good. I say that to people and nobody gets the references, so I'm so glad you guys do.
Don't worry.
I love my Sedaries, so of course I get the reference. Asuka.
Okay, let's see. What else do we have in our discussions here?
Bring it up.
What has been your guys' favorite moment so far?
Oh, that's a good question.
Oh, that's interesting.
Everyone's thinking faces.
I'm actually thinking. I'm just trying to look smart.
Look smart. I think mine for sure was the 7.5 floor one, because that was the first one where I like actually started liking the manga and actually showed Goto having a little bit more character. So that was my favorite. I also thought the art during that scene was really good, and like there wasn't a whole lot of the dialogue like the mangaka does really well. But it still drove home all of the emotions that Goto was feeling and everything that he was thinking. So I really, really liked that part. I think that was that chapter 12 or 13?
That was, I think, 13 or 14.
I blasted through them so fast. I don't remember when anything happened.
I know. I just remember
it's all like mushed together. I'm like, oh, it's so many things happened. I need to read the rest.
I don't know. For me, probably my favorite part was the whole background, like of Goto's backstory and everything he was telling. That was pretty cool because that's when you finally start like realizing what kind of character he is, like more in depth, and he's pretty damn badass. So it's pretty cool.
I think my favorite one would be like just a floor 7.5 because the whole leading up to that you've got like, oh, he's finally there, he knows something, he's gonna do it, and then when he gets there, there's like a really intense sort of fight scene, and it's just his character really shines through in that moment as well, and you can see the inner workings of the whole organization, and there's a lot of plot, and not like anime plot, but proper plot. And
what are you trying to say?
What are you trying to say, Diz?
Hey, and you guys know about plot. But yeah, that's probably one of the best moments, or at least the better moments. I also really liked him meeting his friend again in the races.
Yeah.
I wasn't expecting that to happen, and it's just like, oh, here's a best friend from ages ago.
Totally,
and
I was
sort of
thinking about that.
His history. And I thought that was really nice because I like backstory stuff, but not like, oh, this happened like a chapter ago backstory. I like the whole, oh, this is what happened 20 years ago backstory. Oh. And then learning about his wife, well, fiance.
Almost wife.
All that.
That was so sad.
I know.
So that's just my two opinions, I think.
You know what I liked about that whole section when he was like hanging out with his ex-fiance is like the moments when he would say to her, you know, I'm not here to break up your marriage. I want you to live your life. I want you to forget about me and move on. She seemed like happy in a way. This goes back to like the expressions being really good in this. She seemed happy in a way that was almost like you've changed, like you've become a better person, which is, you know, harkens to the way that he was before he got locked up, like. And him talking about how their relationship wasn't really a relationship that was loving, it was just, you know, entirely sexual, and how he had all this other shit going on. And I was like, oh, I feel like their interactions made her feel better about him, even though so much had happened. I'm trying to figure out what my favorite moment would be.
It's kind of hard to figure out for this series.
It's really hard. I really like all of the moments after he's free, all of the moments that when he's out in the real world, but he thinks back to being in the room, because it's not PTSD-esque, really, but it's more like he thinks back on it and is filled with so much anxiety and relief at the same time. And every time they do that, where they like go back to him in that room and then come back out, he's just like something, you know. And I don't know, I think that's really interesting because I was trying to place myself in that position of even being locked up for a year and having no idea why. I think I would go nuts, like 10.
Yeah, actually not knowing for how long you're gonna be locked up as well.
Right,
it's crazy, like 10 years! How do you do that for 10 years?
Yeah, I know it's the nature, like, you might come in and kill you any second.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, because you don't know, like, what kind of place you're in. You don't know if it's, like, an execution chamber, or if it's, like, they're gonna keep you alive. You don't know what's in the food.
You can be dragged out at any time and be killed instantly and not know why.
So scary.
Yeah.
Because you'll be dead.
Well, you wouldn't really care afterwards.
After you're dead, everything's fine.
Whatever, really.
It's whatever. I thought it was really sad that his mom had passed away of cancer while he was in there.
His reaction was, huh.
Yeah.
That was his reaction.
Like,
I guess at that point, like, he hadn't seen them in so long, it was almost like he had assumed he would never see them again anyway.
Yeah, he'd come to terms with it already.
Yeah.
I also really like the boxing part.
Yes.
Like when he knocked out that world, like that national champion.
Yeah.
Yes,
That
that was awesome.
That was so
Although
smart.
it's kind of like, oh yeah, he's the best fighter now in Japan. It's kind of like, oh, protagonist syndrome.
Protagonist.
well, that guy, he kind of said that was just like a punk, you know, that just wants to be famous. He didn't take it seriously, but this guy, he trained like just by himself for 10 years. So
he was talking about how like the integrity of boxing had changed over the years. Yeah, he's like, these are just cowards. It's like, oh.
Damn.
Damn, you feel a lot of things about your boxing.
Yeah. Only get news shows and boxing in your little cell, you'd know what's up.
You would know. What was
and also, it kind of sucks that he didn't actually go to that underground, you know, like mafia, yakuza, whatever battles and stuff.
Yeah, we don't know if he does yet. I hope he does.
I hope he does, because it felt like that was just a set, like a plot line that just went nowhere. So I really hope that like connects.
And they spent like 2 chapters on it. So
yeah, so I hope that's something, because there's been a few times with that like that where there's been stuff that happens and then it's just all of a sudden like for no reason it feels like it was pointless. And so I'm really hoping that all of those like plot lines come together at the end and everyone's just like, oh. Hopefully. Yeah. I'm hoping that's what happens.
For sure.
Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed. I thought it was really funny that, well, no, I didn't think this was funny, but, I have problems sorting out my thoughts sometimes.
I thought it was funny. No,
I thought that was pretty funny. Goto's mom died. Oh,
no. YOLO.
Guys, I don't want to tell what I was going to say anymore. Never mind.
Alright, go ahead.
No, I don't want to. It's really stupid. Okay, I said, because Dodger and I were reading it together, because she came over after I got off work, and we were both in the same room reading it. And she was a little bit ahead of me. And I got to the part where he went to the school, and he went to the basketball court, and I was like, I really hope it's just a long-term basketball rivalry that he's forgotten about. And then it turns all Grogu to Basket, and everybody comes.
When I was reading it, I was like, alright, I've got to, like, screenshot, tweet Aaron, and say, like, old boy, no basket.
Old boy, no basket.
Oh, God.
For the rest of the series, it becomes, like, a basketball manga.
It slowly transforms.
They all just digress back into high school.
It's like he doesn't care anymore. It's all about basketball now. It's like he turns around, Kuroko's standing there. I'll be your shadow.
I didn't know you were there. It'd be perfect. Perfect segue. Wait, Dodger, hold up your coaster. We're gonna show these.
Oh my gosh, our matching coasters.
Our matching coasters. Ah.
You guys have so much Kuroko in basketball.
If you want to learn how to make these,
Dodger.
you go to youtube.com/dexterity bonus and watch my coaster DIY.
Oh, you actually made that?
Oh.
It's great, yeah.
Aaron made these off of my tutorial.
I made them.
And I was like, those look so cool.
She taught me.
I bet you're like, I should have done this. This is what I should have done.
Those Skyrim ones look pretty dope. That's what I did in the actual video.
Just so everyone knows, you can print off manga pages onto cardstock and then put them on the coasters. Those work very well. That's what I did. So, if you want to print some old boy manga pages off,
tweet them to us.
Yeah, like those scenes.
The lady's face.
She's like,
I want all of us to have that coaster.
And I touched his face as like, you put the cup down, you see the cup, and you put his face with the cup.
Oh my goodness, that's like the best coaster ever.
Oh, we broke Dodger. She's back.
I want those coasters. No, I don't. They would be fair. Be the worst coasters.
Someone make coasters and make sure you send it into Dodger for it.
Don't do it.
Oh.
Do it.
Oh,
anyway,
God.
after segues.
Alright.
Bring it back.
Oh, what were we talking about?
I kind of like segued that off with the basketball thing.
Yeah, the basketball thing, that's right.
Alright. Let's do like the chemistry between Goto and Eri. Let's just do that one.
We already did that one.
We kind of did that one already.
Okay.
How did you feel? What about him and his friend? Like, we kind of talked about it, but like, how do you feel about the friend? Do you think like he has more of a point to the story in the future? Or do you think he's just there as, like, the person for Goto to confide in? Or do you think he's going to have a bigger part? Because something I thought was interesting is that he always says that customers show up every 3 days. Like, like, every single thing he says. And I'm like, is that something, or do you just, like, repeat yourself constantly?
I never necessarily thought it was something. But
I thought it was something.
I did think it was interesting near the end of what we read when Goto was thinking to himself, wondering whether or not, God, what is his name? Gojima? Is that his name?
Who?
No,
The
friend? No, it's
It's like
Tsukamoto.
Tsukimoto.
No, the bad guy.
Oh, Dojima is his nickname.
Dojima, that's his name. Okay,
Is his
when
nickname.
when Goto was wondering whether or not Dojima was trying to get his friend in his pocket. Do you guys remember that part?
Yeah. It was when they were
It was like
eating dinner.
working really hard with that secretary, and she was like, "Oh, you're so funny. Let's catch fish together." And I was like, "Oh no!"
Now, when they went to buy sushi, she like grabs onto his hand, and he comes
She's
back
we'll
like.
get together.
It was so ridiculous. I was like, "Oh."
Yeah, you know, no, I think he is using him. He is using him.
Yeah, I think he's using it. But does he? Does Tsukimoto? That's his name, right? Is like Tsukimoto aware, or do you think he's like a pawn that's just like completely unaware, or is he in on it?
I don't think he's aware. I think it's going to happen because Goto is specifically making a choice not to tell his friend about any of this. I think what's going to happen is his friend is going to be used against him and have no idea.
Okay.
And
yeah.
possibly die at some point. That's
Nobody
what
His friend has to die.
Nobody has died yet, have they? In this?
none of the characters.
None of
I
the
will
characters.
bet you all a penny that he will die. Will you take my bet?
But pennies are so useless.
No,
Okay,
but
I'll
the thing
take
is,
your
what,
bet.
what if it
I'll
comes to
take
the
your bet.
point?
Uh-huh.
It comes to the point. It comes to the point where he becomes such close friends with the bad guy. I forgot his name, and he even starts dating the chick and everything. And then like they try to use him against him, and like and then he's gonna tell him, be like, you know, that's the bad guy. That's the guy that locked me up, you know, and that she's working for him, and he's gonna betray him like on purpose, or he might have to make that choice to betray him or not.
But
I feel like he's too honest of a character.
He might even die, like saving him, protecting him. I don't know.
He's gonna die, guys.
Oh.
Penny?
I
I don't. But they're gonna pretend to be friends. So like, would Goto like go out of his way to like say that to him? Because if they're
He won't
pretending-
for now. He doesn't, because he knows he's gonna act weird. He's gonna start acting weird.
But yeah, if his friend gets in too deep, eventually he's going to have to be like, "Yo."
That's not.
There-
Yeah.
Can we talk about things?
And then his friend's gonna be all butthurt and be like, "Why didn't you tell me?"
You just want the girl for yourself.
You don't understand.
I can totally see that happen. You just want the girl.
Yeah.
Oh, I hope that doesn't happen. I don't want that to happen. That'd be too generic.
That would be pretty generic.
I get a penny
Yeah.
if that happens.
Okay.
We gotta write this down because this is gonna be so confusing.
Well, we don't have pennies in Australia, but I think we've got 5 cents, so you can have 5 Australian
Oh wow.
cents.
Wow,
Which is
you are
equivalent-
upping the
equivalent to
ante.
7 Australian, 7 US cents. But,
7
yeah.
US.
Oh, okay. So if you win, we have to send you 7 pennies.
Yeah, but it's gonna cost us
or
like
a
$30
nickel
to
and 2
send that.
pennies. Yeah.
I'll just
Correct.
PayPal.
Symbol.
PayPal.
Here's one
There we go.
penny. PayPal.
Wait, do I have
There
a penny?
it is.
Wait, I don't know if I have a penny. I only have a nickel and a dime.
I have a huge bucket of like pennies over there. In the corner.
Aww.
I've got dollars.
Oh.
See? Our dollars are coins. Look at our coins.
That is beautiful.
I have no
Bro?
coins around me.
Oh,
What's happening?
And this is
Okay.
a 50-cent coin.
Did you
I
find
have comic
oh,
books.
Okay.
yeah.
Anyway, back to the topic of manga.
Here's a cool
Manga.
Okay, we're done.
What's manga?
What's manga? What are we
What
talking
is the
about?
manga thing that we're supposed to be talking about? Currency.
Is there any more questions, or did we go through
Oh,
everything?
we can't forget Dodger's great question.
Yeah.
How about
We kinda-
how about all them ladies? Am I right? Am
I mean, we
right?
talked about their booties, but
We
did we
talked about.
their
Did
personalities?
we
Booties a
really
lot.
talk about
Oh,
them?
their personalities. Oh,
They
Their
have.
I don't know.
personalities.
They're all. I guess I really like Eerie. Eerie's my
I feel
favorite.
like
He's a little bit too clingy, though. That's the one thing.
Why did you call me Mister?
She doesn't
Mister!
she doesn't really know him that well. Out of nowhere, she puts a band-aid on him, and then she becomes his.
Go.
Yeah.
I had something I wanted to say once we're done talking about the females.
Okay.
You know what? Go for it.
Actually,
No.
I don't really care about the females anymore. I wanna hear-
Okay, this is the something that really bugged me. There was a point. So he has the transmitter in his back. Okay? So
I forgot about that.
okay, so she cuts it out, and then he remembers that he was drugged, and so he must have been drugged when it happened, but then he never knew that it was there. When you get cut into and have something put into you, and like surgery, like you cut through muscle, you feel that afterwards. Like after
Yeah, I had the
EST,
same thought. Like
I was
after
like-
that, you
yeah.
can feel it. Like
Yeah.
No, like I mean, like I've had surgery before, and like the cut was like this big, and I was just like in pain for days because muscle, and then that heals. Like you feel that. I was like, how did he
Right.
not know for 10
Also,
years?
think about it like this. You had this like little thing which is in your back. When you sleep on your back, you feel like little creases in the bed.
Yeah.
You think you notice a little bump that's
Yeah,
like
you
new.
feel-
maybe
Yeah.
you thought
But,
it's
like-
a rash or something. Yeah.
But like, wasn't it like not a bump? Like, wasn't it like cut and like under him, or was it bumpy?
Yeah, it was under his muscle or something.
Yeah.
Kind of a
He
bump.
shoved that knife quite
That-
deeply inside.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just it was a bit like.
That was like a thing that I was like, that seems like a stretch. Like,
I did like that he didn't immediately discard it though. That he was like, "I'm gonna keep this with me,
Yeah.
and when
Yeah,
I
that
want
was
them to
clever.
panic, I'll get rid of it."
Oh, what'd you think of him getting rid of the phone?
Oh, I loved that part
Really liked that.
so much.
Yeah, I'm not gonna let him set the pace. He can always
Yeah.
get me.
I
Yeah.
did not expect that. I loved that. That was the one. Like that was one of those parts that I was like, "What?"
I felt really bad for the truck driver. Could you imagine?
I know, he's like,
something
"What the hell,
like that?
man?"
What? It'd be like just driving along, doing his daily fish deliveries, and it'd be like, "Oh my gosh, what was that thing hitting?"
Oh my gosh!
At least it wasn't a person,
Yeah.
it's just a phone.
It's just a
That's just
sound.
train drivers that get that.
That's so
Oh,
sad.
somebody wrote something pretty cool.
What?
Somebody wrote about Ari. She stabbed him in the back once. Will she do it again?
Oh, snaps! Oh,
That's a good one.
That's a good thing.
I don't
Call
know
it.
that, but that was clever.
Do you
That
think? Do you
would
think
be
Ari?
good.
Like, how much percentage do you mean? Do you think Ari will die? Like,
I
From
don't
one
think
to
she'll
one.
die.
I don't think Ari will die. I don't.
you don't think she'll? You think there's 0% that she will die?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
Mm.
if anyone's gonna die, it's gonna be the friend.
Yeah. The friend's been-
I think there's
the-
a big chance that she might die
Why do
Really?
you think that?
because she's very, very like clingy, and she might get herself into trouble. So
But doesn't
Although
she kind
I-
of stay out of trouble? Like she tends to listen to what he says.
yeah, but
Pretty
like
well.
she still tries to
Do
help.
dumb stuff. She's, I don't know.
I think there's at least a 50% chance that she will die.
50?
personally think with
At least 50%. I think there's a bigger chance that she will die than the friend.
Really?
Damn.
The friend, like he just doesn't seem that important.
I'm gonna send you a whole nickel if that's true.
A whole nickel. All right.
Oh.
All right. Okay.
You
Okay,
guys
let's do
heard it here.
If the friend dies, I'll send you a nickel.
Wait.
And
No, I
if
get the
Ari
penny.
dies,
A Google Doc right now. This needs to
I-
be recorded.
yeah,
I
please
get
write
the
it
penny.
down.
If the friend dies,
right
I get a
here.
penny.
All you guys are witnesses.
Wait, okay,
Whole
so I get the penny.
nickel. Whole-
Okay.
Yokorama gets a
Okay.
nickel. What
You
is
can like buy
Dodger,
you can
what
buy a
do
lot
you
of
get?
stuff.
Send Yokorama a nickel if Girlface dies.
You
Oops.
spelled nickel wrong.
You know what? You
I'll,
said it.
I'll there.
I'll fix it.
I-
Oh, get your cursor off mine.
No,
My
I-
spots.
And,
Anyway, let's
and
huh?
Aaron and Dodger get
Pennies.
a penny.
Penny.
What was it? If the best friend dies?
Yeah, if the best friend dies.
If the best friend dies.
Yeah.
I'll bet you guys if the girl face betrays
No, that's
Goto.
definitely gonna happen.
Oh, I think there's more of a percent chance of
I
her
don't think she'll
betraying.
betray him.
Really? I think that's gonna happen. Okay, fine. I will give Daz a nickel.
Whatever his country costs.
Whatever your country takes.
And we'll give. Wait, Yokorama, whose side are you on?
I don't wait. If she's gonna betray him, I think she's gonna betray him, but then go switch back to his side. So in the end, she's gonna be on his side. That's the side I'm on.
Aaron will give
Your armor ruins.
all the money.
No, let's not.
Betray him.
All
Edit that.
that YouTube money.
No, but
Alright,
no,
alright.
what if like I bet you like everything that we just wrote down, none of that is gonna happen. And,
Yeah.
like, nobody else
Nobody gets any money.
It's like we're the worst at predicting stuff. Like, damn.
Screenshot.
Dang it. Okay, let's see. Do you guys have any like last questions or remaining thoughts on Old Boy? We discussed it pretty gosh darn well, I feel. Does anybody have anything else?
I'm really excited to keep reading it. It was hard for me to stop.
Yeah. Yeah, you got to chapter 39, you're like, oh!
I was like sitting on the couch and Aaron was sitting right here and I was like, oh, I finished. And he just slapped me.
I wanted to read
bad.
like 40 as well because like, I wanted to end it off on like on a good number because 39 is a weird number to end it off.
It was!
There's 80 chapters, and half is 40, so...
No, it's
I know.
79 chapters, isn't it?
Is it?
Yeah, it's
I thought it
79
was
chapters.
79. What a weird number.
Trevor.
Ah.
But yeah, I think I pretty much said everything I really had to say about the first half at least. You know?
Yeah.
80 on here.
I
What?
feel the same. I feel the same way. So I think next week we are going to read what Yokorama, why don't you announce what we're going to be reading for next week?
I have to find the name.
I know, that's why I gave it to you.
You put me in the bad spot. Okay, it's loading. Imadoki.
Yes.
Imadoki.
We all
Um,
decided that as a group that we wanted to read a romance manga next because
Yeah.
it's getting a little too heavy
Depressing.
in here.
Yeah, and the people that are thinking like, what about the other 4 volumes of Old Boy? Yeah, that's gonna be the week after that. We decided to take like a 1-week break, so you know it'll be more.
Or it'll be in the future, so, yeah.
But yeah, it's the Imadoki is a comedy drama romance shoujo series, and it's 5 volumes long, 26 chapters. So it's just like 1 volume more than this week.
We're just gonna do
And
it
if
all at
you're
once,
not
right?
convinced,
Yeah, it's just
we're
one
gonna
take.
finish
One
it.
time.
Yeah.
if you're not convinced, it's by the same mangaka that did Fushigi Yugi.
Oh, Fushigi Yugi. That's pretty.
Yugi, really?
Oh, really?
I didn't even know that.
It was
I
even
did not know that.
You guys, we're really prepared for next week, obviously.
Well, yeah, that's pretty good. I'm pretty excited.
Awesome.
About it.
Yeah, I'm excited about that. It'll be nice to read something lighter and fluffier.
I don't know.
I mean,
Yugi is very light. I
Oh,
hope
that's true. I guess
But this is just, it looks like a typical like romance. I posted a link of the anime list into the chat if you guys want to look at it.
perfect. Thank you, Yokorama.
Yep.
Doing that, sir. Alrighty, if you guys want to watch this again, it will be up on my channel, youtube.com/HappiLeeErin, shortly after we end here, or if there's somebody who was not able to watch this live and you want to tell them where you can find it, the VOD will be up on my channel. Let's see, is there any final thoughts anybody has? Or anything?
Go
You
for
go
it.
first. Go, Dodger.
All I was gonna say is we should all plug ourselves and where to find us.
Oh, yes.
So,
You're
Daza, now you
smart.
can go.
You're so
Well,
smart.
actually, I was gonna say, if you want to have a an anime type podcast, then you should join us on
yes.
Friday. Both Yokorama and myself do a podcast called the Aniverse.
Well, actually,
which you can
it's Friday for you because you're in Australia, but
Oh, yeah,
for everybody else,
Thursday
it's Thursday.
It's Thursday at the
Everyone else
exact
in the world
same time.
Daza, it's Thursday.
It's same time as the MangaPod, but it's on Thursdays. Every other week though.
Thursday at youtube.com/theaniverse, and we have guests and stuff, and yeah, it's gonna be cool.
It's a lot of fun. They have welcomed me on there numerous times, and I've always had a ton of fun doing it. So
Yes.
you guys should definitely check that out. It's very informative, and they have really good discussions on there.
Don't
So.
go to the blog spot because the blog spot is really bad. Go to the YouTube page.
Go to the YouTube
Yeah, the YouTube page because the blog spot we haven't updated in months.
Oh.
Oh, I will
That's
leave a
fine.
link. I'll link to you guys in the YouTube description of this VOD. I'll leave a link to the Aniverse so you guys can check
Sweet.
that out pretty easily. It's awesome. So why don't you guys give your channel names? Where to plug yourself some more? Dodger suggested. Dodger.
Dodger can fire.
I'll go
Go,
first.
Dodger. That's first, Ryan.
YouTube.com/pressheart to continue for gaming focused stuff, and YouTube.com/dexterity bonus for daily vlogs, and if you want to know how to make these, there's a DIY upon my channel where we make Skyrim coasters, but as you can see, you can make anime-flavored ones as well. That's me. Twitter, @DexBonus. There, I'm done.
Boom! Yokurama, good sir.
Alright, yeah, you can find me on Yokurama Game Talk. That's on YouTube. I don't talk about games though. That's one thing. That's funny.
Most
Yeah, it's
advertising.
all it is me just doing anime reviews and sometimes random dance videos and
Harlem
no, I'm just
Shakes.
kidding. That was only once. That was the one time. That's the one.
Every week.
Weekly Harlem
weekly
Shakes.
Harlem Shakes.
Weekly dance
time.
videos.
I do like tutorials on dance videos. No, I'm just kidding. It's all about mainly all about anime and sometimes random stuff like if I feel like it. And I have another channel, Yokurama News, where I do some anime news videos once in a while. Yeah, but I do them like I don't do them like Daza. I do them like if I find one topic that's interesting, then I just talk about it. I don't like mash them up together because I rarely find anything interesting to talk about. And I do like episode reviews of some of the like airing anime, like seasonal anime on that channel as well. So check me out there. And Yokurama Talks is my Twitter if you guys want to find me there.
Awesome.
That's a lot of
Daza.
Oh, okay. Well, I've got 3 channels that you can subscribe to.
Oh, dang.
First one is Fighting for Nippon, which is anime reviews that include weekly anime reviews as well as DVD and Blu-ray anime reviews.
Oh, my. Tell me more.
I'm actually writing one at the moment, which is like the first time I've actually written a proper review, and it's
really?
so taxing. My second channel is, of course, the Dr. Daza, where I do anime news in like the half style of Doja and Philip DeFranco, because I think they're both cool.
Ah, that's adorable.
But yeah, I do that as well. I do anime news as well as reaction videos, because apparently people like reaction videos. I don't know
Your
why.
reaction videos are awesome.
And I do Dr. Daza Games, which is me playing video games. I don't care if anyone subscribes to that because it's just fun. So, kidding.
Oh, you're not really
Anyway.
into that.
That's the thing.
And what is your Twitter?
Twitter is Dr. Daza. That's easy.
Perfect. Awesome.
Yeah.
I am HappiLeeErin, and I do first impressions and as well as friendly anime discussions with guests occasionally. And I also do anime reviews, and I have a Death Note one coming out this week. I'm really excited about it. It's going to be my first one in a really long time. I've been mainly focusing on anime first impressions for the last few months, so I'm really excited to get a Death Note review out. So boom, 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 boom. Yeah, but you can find my reviews at youtube.com/HappiLeeErin, as well as the VOD of MangaPod. And I actually only have one channel because I'm a slacker, so there's that.
Keep it all compact.
All in one. And you can find me at Twitter, twitter.com/HappiLeeErin. I'm HappiLeeErin on all the things. So
She's so happy.
I'm so happy.
She's so happy there.
Oh man, awesome. Okay, well thank you guys so much for watching this live. We really appreciate you guys tuning in, and we hope you guys enjoyed watching us talk about Old Boy. Let us know if you are reading it, if you are enjoying it, and what your thoughts on the first 4 volumes are. We actually haven't read the next 4 like we talked about, so no spoilers for that because we want to not be spoiled and such.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
yes.
and Imadoki next
Yes.
week. So look forward to
Read
that.
all of it. So
Read
read
all of it.
All of it. It's 5
5
volumes. Just read the whole thing.
Yeah.
Don't worry, there's
Same
no
time.
chapters in this one, so it's okay.
Okay. Same
okay.
time, same place, twitch.tv/HappiLeeErin at 7:30 p.m. Hopefully our food arrives on time and we don't have any technical issues.
No, we started like at 8 today.
Yeah, we started really late. Sorry, guys. We still love you a lot. But hopefully 7:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. If it's going to be a little bit later, we will tweet about it. So be sure to look at our Twitters and such for that. We thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll be talking to you next week. Bye-bye!
Bye.